Oh, that's a good fish. So that's straight out off Leonard's Island in about 35 metres of water, and we must have caught 10 fish in the last half an hour, with maxing out about this size, about that, I don't know, what's that, 50 to 60 centimetres?
Yeah. G'day folks, it's Ando from Boss Outdoor with this week's fishing report. You'll see Leaf out there catching snapper, and now I'll tell you what, we've been banging on about catching these snapper on soft plastics, metals, and all sorts of other artificial offerings. But you cannot knock back a bit of fresh bait to entice these fish to eat. We're also out there catching a few slimy mackerel. We slabbed those down, cut them up into little strips and sent them to the bottom, and this is what happened to those.
So we're just saying that the bait's been catching all the lesser class fish all day. Oh, that one's on too. And hasn't caught any snapper, and then all of a sudden, bow. Pretty sure we got a good snapper on the bait this time. Yeah, it's a beauty, isn't it?
Absolute ripper.
Nothing wrong with catching fish like that.
So if you want to get out over the weekend and catch a feed of those beautiful snapper, guys, we have excellent weather. The sea could be a little lumpy, so you might want to go out of Eden, out of Quarantine Bay, shoot up to areas like Leonard's Island or even further to Haycock, and you're looking to fish depths around 30 to 40 metres. That seems to be the sweet spot. You can use your metal jigs, you can use your soft plastics and your soft fibres and whatever other artificial offering that you may have. But don't forget to take some bait, guys. Some pilchards, some squid, or even better, if you catch a slimy mackerel while you're out there, cut it up, send it down and get into it. You're going to get mowong, snapper, nanagai, maybe a gummy shark. It's just a great way to fish. It's like a lucky dip. I love it. Well, the offshore action is really heating up, guys. The tuna is the buzzword. Albacore, southern bluefin tuna, and even yellowfin tuna. We've had some great reports, and Leaf has some solid information that you're going to want to hear about later in the segment, so stay tuned for that. So the estuary fishing, guys, is still awesome, especially up in the top lake, and well done to all those guys that latched hold of that offer of the half-price tinny hire. We've had boats going up there around the clock, and there's been some pretty good results. Here's a little bit of footage of what's been happening up in that top lake. Well, with action like that in the top lake, guys, it's easy to see why everybody's getting excited about catching these Australian salmon, including the fly fishermen that are coming down from the high country. Dan and Rusty got into them the other day. They took advantage of that $100 tinny hire and were up on the lake and caught some fantastic fish and had an absolute well done to you guys. Another family that took a tinny out up on the lake was Andrew Pizarro and his kids. They got some fantastic flathead. Good to see a few flatties still around. They were just drifting baits around and got some lovely fish, so well done to you guys as well. If you're looking to chase some bream, maybe throw a metal blade around the ribbon weed edges. Still plenty of good bream up there, and it's one of these things that I love to do. We've spoken about this before. It's just fantastic to work a metal blade down deep, nice and slow. You could catch anything, flathead, trevally, mulloway, and of course your bream. Now while we're on the mulloway, for those guys throwing soft plastics around, still a few dewies up there too, guys, so don't deter from putting in the hard yards and working those tide changes, particularly this weekend where we have a new moon phase, which is one of the specials for those mulloway. So if you're looking to do a little rock fishing this weekend, guys, you're in luck. There are plenty of drummer around. The last time I went drummer fishing, I suspended a cungy bait underneath a float and got some lovely fish. They're averaging around 35 to 40 centimetres, so good fun on light tackle and great eating on the plate. How about that for a tasty feed? If you want to get into a bit of squidding action and get some yummy calamari for the plate, guys, get out on the wharf with some squid jigs or in a boat in those shallow bays and get into it. They're hot to trot at the moment. Yum. So if you're fishing the beaches, guys, it's been a little tough lately. There are a few tailor around. Probably want to fish late in the evening to get those though, which is kind of cold this time of year. But hey, the bonus is there are a few gummy sharks. What you're looking for is a lovely gutter. Finding a gutter can be identified by a deeper section of water between you on the shore and a solid sandbank on the other side of the gutter. This will provide access for the gummy sharks to swim in and fossick for sand crabs and anything else they can find to eat. Hopefully your bait. So just a reminder, guys, for all those young fishers, there is a fishing comp on for the school holidays. Check out all the information on our socials, and you can also check it out on the Marimbula Big Game and Lakes Angling Club socials as well. But I've just noticed Leaf down on the dock. Let's go and rustle him up and get all that tuna information. Hey mate, how you going?
Good, mate.
What sort of tuna information have you got for us today, man? How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How you going?
Good.
Well, I know what I'm doing this weekend off the back of that comp over the weekend. Congratulations to all those guys in the Canberra yellowfin that caught those fish. Some cracking bluefin, hey? A couple of bluefin, 100 kilos, 80 kilos.
Proper barrels.
Proper barrels, yeah. And the yellowfin, so
yeah.
Up to 75 kilos.
Good fish.
That is a great yellowfin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely what I'll be doing this weekend. I guess some tips to catching these fish is there's so much water out there, hey, and there's so few fish in between so much water. So if we can use some technology to try and narrow it down a little bit and figure out where these fish are before we just spend days circling the ocean out there, that's what we've got to do, hey? So,
well, I hear you've been doing a bit of research on that, mate.
Yeah, rip charts is such an amazing tool that we have to catch these fish these days. So let's take a bit of a look at that and see if we can't give you some tips. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking for is the zero line. So you can see that this zero line starts all the way, starts out here and comes all the way around through here, and then becomes accessible for trailer boats or for where we're going to be fishing. Sort of from, where are we there, a bit south of Bermagui, all the way down to, if you get real keen, you can probably fish it off Green Cape sort of thing, but you're probably travelling a fair way down there. And then, so once we've found that zero line, I reckon we definitely want to be fishing pretty close to that zero line. We're going to look for some slack water. And we can see that all of this cold water out here is pushing in here towards this zero line. And then there's some arrows coming down here. So this water's pushing this way, and this water on the shelf is actually going north. So it's going to be pretty slack, that water. That's not going to be rushing too hard there. So I reckon in that slack water is going to be really good. And then we've got a good temp change there too. You can see all this water is quite cold out here and a bit warmer in here. And this is the edge of it where it changes through here. So that's pretty perfect. And then that all kind of meets on this zero line right here at 36, 38, 150, 24. So I reckon that's going to be the area to concentrate with all that water. So those arrows pushing in out of that deeper water in towards that zero line, that should push all of those fish out of that deep in towards this spot. And a bit of slack water, hopefully they're just having a bit of a rest in there and being lazy tuna and getting ready to get caught. So yeah, that's where I'll be concentrating this weekend, is right sort of on that mark between that water on that zero line. So yeah, hope we see you out there and jag a big tuna.
Well, that's great information, mate. And for those who don't have rip charts, come into the shop. We've got it on the computer around the clock. So pop in and see the current situation on a daily basis on us. And speaking of on us, this week's fishing report special.
We've got catch stick baits, a real must-have when you're out there chasing these tuna around. As soon as those fish bust up near the boat, you've got to have a stick bait ready to throw at them. And if you're watching this fishing report this week, 50% off catch stick baits.
There you go, unreal. Well, that's it for this week's fishing report, guys. If there's any other information you require, hooks, bait, lures, or where they're biting, come into Boss Outdoor so we can hook you up. We're going fishing.
If you're enjoying our videos, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.